All right, here we are at the famous Chico watering hole, the Naked Lounge. We're just going to pan a little so you can see there's art on the walls. We have lights everywhere. So there it is. That's my outline. I don't know if you can read that, but I can. So let me just go through this, just 16 quick bulleted items, and then we're going to expand on the conjugal game. This is the introduction to hyperdimensionality, a fancy-dancy term from upper echelon physics where they no longer think, they prefer to do drugs. I will be high pretty soon. I didn't take my gummy bear this morning, so I'm unusually lucid in the worst way. You don't want to be lucid without the help of gummy bears at my age, but I can still cope. And so we're going to go through these 16 bulleted items with the title, The Conjugal Game, and the subheading, Introduction to Hyperdimensionality, and we're going to wind up with the 16th bulleted item to telescope out into further exploration of science and the interdimensional universe that we occupy, conjugally, the introduction to hypersphericity. So I'm going to try to keep this brief. You can tell that I am in a compromised surrounding, not exactly the pro surroundings with the lab cat that you're used to hearkening to at my voice, in order to obtain insight into infinity, imaginarity, and most importantly, conjugality, which by now you should know or you could guess is, geometrically speaking, ortho-relation. The ortho-relation. The Pythagorean theorem, misnamed, it should be called the right-angle law, governs linear space because linear space can be divided. How so? First, polaric, plus and minus. That would be equivalent to Coulomb charge, a mistake in electromagnetic theory. I don't know why nobody noticed, but it was actually James Clerk Maxwell who proved that electroforce is perpendicular to magnetoforce. So that's the overture, so you know what we're going to be doing. That conjugal relation governs the force relationship at the balance of the universe, which is what science is seeking. That would end up with the TOE, the theory of everything, which simply is the unification of all forces. I have managed to work into the whole equational system the GUT. It's just interesting. These are both in acronymic form physiological terms. The toe and the gut. Well, the gut, you could say, supports the toe. The toe can't get very far without the gut. So the grand unification theory is simply the unification of the strong force. There are interpretations that vary from this, but they're incorrect. The correct formulation of the grand unification theory is the unification of the strong force with the electromagnetism. It turns out there's an overlap there that I discovered. So I discovered the most important insight in the history of physics, the basis of everything. And this will lead us into hypersphericity, which is why nobody has ever seen this, is because you have to master imaginary space and you must rationalize infinity. Happily for all of science, although they'll never actually admit this, I got it. I got the answer. I solved Einstein's problem. I solved Dirac's problem. And this goes all the way to the human equation to solve all the religious and philosophical questions that mankind has ever asked. I've got all the answers. Thank you for tuning in. You're a new victim. You will be converted. You will be absorbed. You're going to go to heaven whether you like it or not. If I get my way, you'll be in heaven by the end of this video. I'm going to put this on pause so that I can read to you the 16 bulleted items, which I am then going to explain when I get home and the lab cat can help us. The lab cat provides love. You're going to learn about love, and you're not going to like it. This is Islam. I'm broadcasting the gospel of so-called Christianity, a word you should never use. It's a trigger word which makes people froth at the goddamn mouth. But I will show you the secrets of religion. You need to learn a word that most Americans have never heard of, or if they have, they're allergic to it. Islam. That's religion. Islam. The way I define it, that defines everything. Now, God defines me, so I'm simply telling you what I've heard. You don't like that? There's an off button. We'll be right back. This will be on pause. It'll be a nanosecond for you. I'm not sure how long it'll be for me, but the music is rather loud, and I like it. It's good music. but it interferes with a scientific lecture. So I'll be right back. All right. Oops. Is this running? All right. So this is another view of the Naked Lounge out the front window. You can see it's rather bright out there. I was going to go out there, but it's really hot. It's probably the hottest last day of the year. We're used to the heat, but I'll sit down now so we can proceed with our reading of the conjugal game. What do I mean by that? Conjugal means orthogonal. It's a mathematic term for the mathematics underlying the geometry of linear space, which you may be familiar with. You've heard the term linear algebra, linear logic, all these linearizations of a universe that is nonlinear. So that is the problem that Einstein and Dirac and everybody else has faced and has not seen the secret that unlocks it, which is conjugality. It's essentially semi-polarity, which introduces an imaginary space. So to make this brief, this is being recorded on my cell phone, obviously. We're going to begin with orthorelation. Orthorelation is a strictly geometric term. Conjugality is a non-geometric term. They are exactly equivalent, and that unifies numbers with geometry. I discovered that. So the elaboration leads to the other bulleted items, beginning with transcendentality. We need to stop beating around the bush. We're looking for a transcendental solution. What does that mean? It means outside the box. It means outside every box. It means something that nobody has been brave enough or smart enough to see. Well, it just so happens that my genetic configuration made me the man who made the greatest discovery in the history of physics or geometry or mathematics or socialism. And we'll deal with that last, because that's what's going to kill you if you don't get out of the game. There are two games. It's a conjugal game. One is evil and is seeking to destroy you. The other is perfect and wonderful and will save you. So there's one force that's trying to kill you and will. By default, it kills every human, so that that human is erased. You don't want that if you're conscious. So it does deal with religion. Again, when you say religion, you need to define it the way I define it. Islam. What does Islam comprise? Every religion. Every religion is comprised in one ancient, original transmission. Transmission is a key word. I invented it for this purpose. It refers to what you and I would traditionally call the Bible. That's extremely naive, but it is important to recognize that is part of the transmission. Has it been tampered with? It has been through so many hands. It has passed through every generation of humanity. It has been owned by the Israelis. It is now owned by the Ishmaelis, who are related to the Israelis. The Israelis are out, the Ishmaelis are in. The Creator has children, you're one of them. It's sad, I know, you're letting them down, you're going to hell. Well, we're going to solve that so you have a choice. That's all I can do for you. I can't force you into heaven against your will. Love cannot be forced. We're going to talk about love. We're going to solve for the equation of love. So to go through these quickly so I can get back to the main station to broadcast to you on a real computer rather than a handheld mind control device, the conjugal game begins with orthorelation, transcendentality. Number 3, conjugal geometry. I discovered that 4 years ago. Conjugal spheric geometry. The sphere is an object that you'll come to embrace because it replaces the line. Euclid is out. There will be no more Euclidean logic. We will now replace that with the universe's idea of logic, conjugality. It's non-linear, it's non-binary. It's called superpositional logic. In the quantum world, that is called superpositional state logic. State logic. Nobody knows what state is. It's either position or momentum. Those have to be unified. They've never been unified. So bulleted item number 4 is quantum space. Quantum space is part of cosmic space. We'll get to the edge so we can find the middle. That would be called the center. That is the center of a sphere. Does the universe have a center? It does, but it'll blow your mind. it is distributed to the protons. And the proton is the only particle. I discovered that. The electron has what's called locality. That is non-spatial. That's what nobody saw. Einstein missed the universal reference frame. He got general, he got special, he did not get universal. I got it. Number 5, space-time conjugal energy. That's the secret to physics. This goes to Ruđer Josip Bošković, the famous Hrvatskian Jesuit scholar who is my personal teacher. Number 6, conjugal imaginarity. That would be expanded to, and here's a key term, one of my more recent discoveries over the past 18 months, conjugal imaginary infinity. That is a major discovery. All my discoveries are major. They go outside the box and come back with the goddamned solution, for Christ's sake. Paradoxic, I am a pastor, so I'm allowed to swear. Paradoxic morphology, that's my field. The group mind sin, the sinful mind of man. It's when full-grown adult males, especially Americans or Israelis, get together to try to figure out what they need to do whatever they're doing, which apparently involves genocide. So we need to solve for genocide. Why do people want to murder each other wholesale? They always have, ever since Cain stabbed his brother, so we know that sin rules. Number 10, physical humanity. What is humanity? Well, it's physical, but it's not. So it's conjugal. So only I can answer what is the definition of humanity, its goals. You need to know its origin. You can't find it. You need Islam. So I will be teaching you the way of heaven. Sorry, you're in for it. You always have the off button, and off to hell you go. This is your last hope. This is the last stop. There's not much time left. You may have heard of the apocalypse. Oh well, fairyland again. Number 11. Electromagnetic conjugality in 2 parts. The quantum ortho relation, which I discovered, C equals lambda nu. We have Max Planck to thank for that. I discovered the counting system using protons. That would be the counting number system. All numbers are positive quantities. There are no such thing as any other numbers, but the true number system, which I discovered, is the binary conjugal number system. That's redundant. You will learn what that means, or your chances of getting to heaven go way down. There's a lot of probability involved. It all depends on you and nothing else. You're the probabilistic part. Number 14, we're near the end, conjugal consciousness. We need to know about consciousness and what? Reality. I taught you to conjugate those, and so number 15 is conjugal reality. You cannot define reality or consciousness except in an electromagnetic relation. Oh, what does that have to do with electromagnetism? Consciousness and reality have exactly the same relationship as electroforce and magnetoforce. Number 16, to wrap up our introduction, the introduction to hypersphericity. I discovered a whole new realm of geometry that explains the universe and everything else. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to keep looking up. It's a new moon. You'll catch a crescent in the western sky. All Islam people love that. Well, Islam needs a little guidance too, doesn't it? What does Islam know about Jesus Christ? Do you know? Not everything. That's why I'm here. The prophet of Islam and Christianity is on the surface of the earth. I won't be here much longer. I am dying. So I'm at the age of 70 and trying to broadcast quickly. You can tell my voice is somewhat amped. That's because I'm not the only one running out of time, okay? We all die. And you're going to face that, and you will face it squarely so that you can get out of the game that's trying to kill you. So you can join the game that's trying to save you. That's the love of your Father. You don't like that? There's the off button. I have to go. We'll be right back in a couple of hours with the main adventure. I hope you're tuned in for scientific reasons. You're going to get more than that. I have the answers. Are you looking for answers? You're in the right place. This is Anagalactic, giving you the secrets of the universe for 3.5 years now. 1,150 video lectures so far on all the secrets of the universe with, as a bonus,
the answers.
Science is about solutions. You getting any? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.